Hi there and welcome. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram and on Facebook. All right, yeah, so good. We're good on Facebook and we're good on Instagram. So, hi and welcome. If this is your first time tuning in one of my broadcasts, my name is Shauna K. Listo, and I am the founder, I am the creator of the IMG Residency Match application accelerator. And what that is that it is a premium program for IMGs who are applying to the match, and you are applying to the match because you want to elevate your personal life and elevate your professional life. Those are the kinds of people and young physicians who we deal with, and that's what our program is about. So today we are going to have a discussion about being really honest, and I'm actually really excited for this discussion because it is such a human discussion. It's a discussion about nice things, right? About the finer things in life that most people want more of those things in their lives. And I want to have a chat about what are those things for you, and if you were supposed to choose the number one nice thing that you want out of the match, what that would be and why you really want to connect with that because of the outcome that it can enable you to have in the match. All right. So let me start by saying that most people, most human beings love nice things, right? We love nice things. We want more of the nicer things in life. And there's a lot of literature, whether you're somebody who subscribes to like the psychology of it or you take it from like the business end of things, lots of literature around how people tend to want more freedom, we want more health, we want more happiness, we want more education, we want more money, regardless of the culture that you're from, regardless of the country that you're from. Most human beings who you will want are striving. We want more, and we want specifically more of these nice things. Whenever I meet people who are applying to the match, whenever I meet IMGs, we tend to start out with, why are you applying to the match? Why is the match important for you? And then it comes to, I want to improve my knowledge and skills. I want to improve my knowledge and skills to be able to serve these patients. I want to serve children. I want to serve adults. It's all about improving the knowledge and skills. However, when you dig deeper beyond the knowledge and skills, there's more than that, right? Whenever people get honest with themselves, there's certain things that they want more of, and I'm going to talk about them. I hope nobody is triggered because they're really important and very human things. So we're going to talk about them, and I'm going to tell you three very key things about those things. All right. So first off, we have freedom, which if you are a foreign medical graduate, that can be as basic as physical freedom. I know that might sound weird because apparently slavery is over, at least in the physical form. So to hear that someone wants physical freedom might sound really strange, but there are IMGs, especially if they're FMGs, who want this. They want the physical freedom to move their body. This might be you. You want the freedom to move from country to country, from region to region in the world, and to practice medicine. You don't want to be relegated to practicing in one country, in one region for the rest of your life. Again, this is mostly pertinent to the foreign medical graduate. This is really important to you because you don't see yourself staying in one place for the rest of your life. So freedom for you, the more that you want of this freedom is really how can I take my body to different countries and work wherever I want, because when I think about it, the rest of my life is a really long time, right? To be relegated to practicing in one geography for 20, 30, 40 years is a pretty, big thing. And that works for some people and it does not work for everyone, right? So that number one nice thing that this person might want more of when we really dig down to the bottom of it is that they want more physical freedom. So remember I started by saying that most humans want more of these nice things, right? So yours would be physical freedom. There are IMGs who want more financial freedom. This tends to be very pertinent to people who went to offshore schools and you're looking at 250 grand, 300 grand. If you have undergrad mixed into that, you're looking at like a nice $500,000 USD worth of debt and you're sitting on that. So it is important for you to get a job. It is important for you to match because you want financial freedom. You don't want these loans, holding on to your ankles or holding on to your wrists for the rest of your life. You are looking for financial freedom. I've also had IMGs, whether they're IMGs or whether, you're an FMG, who you just don't want to be dependent on your family anymore because they've been taking care of you throughout medical school. Some families take care of candidates so that they can do their rotations for a good year, for a good 2 years, keep that competitive edge strategy. People do that. Just go from rotation to rotation, from USCE to USCE for a year or two, and their families are standing in that gap, and they want to have the independence while they thank their family, while you thank your family, to not be dependent on your family anymore. Right? So that's nice thing number one. It is freedom, totally human. All sorts of freedoms, I guess, that I love too, and we could talk about that another time. But if that's your number one nice thing, make a note of that and know that you're very human with it. The other thing is intellectual development. Again, super important. It's a nice thing. It's education. It's nice to have, right? As someone who's in your field, you might be tired of not knowing what to do for a patient. People say that all the time. I want to be able to care for a patient independently, to know that I'm doing my best job for this patient. I want to be able to be the go-to person on a team if someone needs to come for me. If somebody needs to come to me to ask me a question, I know the answer to give to the person. All right? There is also the issue of when you're representing yourself, you want to know within yourself that even if you're feeling imposter syndrome, that you are not a fraud. This is very human. Everyone, everyone in every profession, whatever you're doing, you want to be an expert if you're not an expert, or if you're an expert, you want that to be registered because you don't want to be found wanting. You don't want to go to a conference and not know what is the latest technology, what is the latest way of treating this patient, because you are not exposed to it. You're looking for that intellectual development, you're looking for that education because you could get by on what you have, but it would be nice to have more. It would be nice to do more. It would be nice for more to be available to you, right? So if intellectual development is your number one nice thing that you'd like to have, definitely just drop one little note about that, and we are going to come back to it. So remember when I started, I said that human beings as humans, we just tend to want more all the time. We achieve something, so I have clients who match into residency, and a few months into residency, it's like, well, where am I going to go for fellowship? Or they're going to fellowship number one, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking of fellowship number two. Some people do fellowship number two, and it's like, oh, I'm thinking of fellowship number three. You get a job, you want a raise, you want a promotion. You're a professor, you want to be the head of the department now, right? You're doing clinical medicine, you want to add research. It is so human to want more. To want more of these freedoms, to want more of these educations, to want more for your health, to even want more, for your family members. That's totally normal, totally what we deal with. I just want you to plug in what is that number one thing for you that you want more of from the match, because it is super important. The number three thing that I'm going to talk about, and this is so key, is satisfaction or happiness. All right? Happiness, how do you even define that? We could just be philosophical about that, to the end of time. But they're very key things, especially for high achievers, especially for IMGs who are applying to the match, that, it makes you feel satisfied. You don't want to be in a job that you don't like, right? So some people, for you, it is important to be able to be in a geography that you like, be in a job that you like. People want more happiness because, they want to take their family to a new country, or some people are waiting on actually matching before starting a family of their own, or making certain moves with their husband or with their wife. Your happiness in life comes from your family, and the match is going to enable you to have more of that. There are people who just don't like their jobs, and so they want to be in a job that makes them happy, working with a patient population that they are quite happy to work with, and not the patient population that they feel like they have to work with. There is absolutely, no happiness there. And there is also just the feeling of fulfillment from knowing that this path that you set out on in the beginning, that it's working out. So I meet IMGs who have had to, do the most to get through med school. Not everybody, but there are people who not just academically, financially, they've had to do so much just to make it through medical school. And they want the satisfaction of knowing that all of those sacrifices, maybe working while they're going through school, relying on their family, that it was worth it. If you're an IMG and you went overseas, you want the satisfaction of knowing that you weren't wrong for going overseas, even if so many people asked you, what on earth are you doing? That's a kind of satisfaction that you want for yourself. Now, I chose to talk about freedom, people who want more freedom, people who want more intellectual development or more education, and people who want more happiness. These are the things that the match is really about for you. It is a match and it is about improve the knowledge and skills, but it's really about all of these really nice things that matching and going into your next chapter will allow you to have, right? There are people who said to me, they want to be 40 and working part-time. They want to be 40 and sailing on a boat, out to different islands. And that's all a part of what is really driving them, in addition to wanting to improve their knowledge and skills, right? But there is this drive for nicer things. Now let's talk about why those nicer things are super, super, super important for you to plug into as you go through this match process. The number one, which I think you've probably thought about as someone applying to the match, is that you really want to, for yourself, you really want to plug into that, right? Because there are times as you're going through this process where, it doesn't have to be dog difficult and horrible and the worst thing you've ever done, very challenging, of course, but it doesn't have to be something that is complete hellish. It's possible for you to have structure and to have ease around the process. However, it will be a process that will take something out of you, will take more out of you. And it's very important for you to have those reminders in your mind, to maybe even have physical reminders to people who make vision boards or anything like that. If you change the screensaver, you want to have, your boat, or you want to have you practicing in whichever country in the world you want to practice in. You want to have actual images of those things in your mind and in your surroundings, of course, so that can keep you going. That's a part of your why. You're going to need it to keep going when things are, not so amazing. So you want to have that in mind. Number two, about this number one nice thing that's driving you, whether it is it could even, we didn't talk about money, but for some people it could be a bump in that income, right? Like maybe what you're making now, you are very aware that you have the potential to make 4 or 5 times that amount, in addition to doing good, in addition to doing, well, in addition to caring for people, you're able to also care for yourself and for your family financially. And so that bump is important to you. So you want to keep physical reminders of that to keep you going. The other reason why plugging into your number one nice thing, your number one good thing that you want out of this match process, the thing that's going to come after you match, why you want to plug into this is because, as I said at the beginning, this is something that when you recognize it, it actually makes you more human. Why is that so? Because as I explained at the beginning, this is something that is not me, it's not my work, these are not my theories, right? Just talk to somebody and most progressive people, most people in general, want more for themselves, want more out of life. Always thinking about how can I have better health, how can I have more freedom, how can I have more time? It can be time freedom too for you. How can I have, more family? How can I have more love? All that sort of thing. And for me, I think love comes under the happiness and the satisfaction. Humans are reaching for more. They're trying to get more. And so when you're able to tap into that about yourself and to communicate it with other people, it makes you more human. It makes you more relatable. It makes you someone who others can connect with. And in this process, what you really want is to connect with people. And so I tell my clients all the time, in the match process, you don't want to seek to impress. You want to seek to connect, because things are really going to happen for you when you can connect. Excuse me, let me take some water. So things are really going to happen for you when you can connect to others, and when you tap into your desires, these very human desires that you have, you're going to be connecting with people because they also have these desires, right? That leads me now to the third point, which is really, really, really important. So I want to make sure that you get this. You wouldn't necessarily say to a program director or to an assistant program director, you know, I'm looking to have more freedom. I'm looking to be able to practice anywhere in the world, or I'm looking to have more money. I'm looking to have a boat. I'm looking to sail around the globe. You are not going to communicate it that way, but this number one thing that you value, for me personally, is freedom. All my academic opportunities, all of my educational and academic opportunities for me have been about freedom. It is, just absolutely a nice thing for me, a nice thing that I can't, do without. Freedom is up there for me. Freedom and maybe happiness or something, right? But definitely have to have that freedom. So when you are able to tap into these things and to understand them, as I'm saying, because all human beings have them, what you realize is that although you might not say them so explicitly, or you might not position them in that kind of way to a program director or to someone else, there are other ways in which you can position that kind of information where it reflects something really important about you. And this is the key, and it's like, the crux of what I'm saying here today. The things, or the nice things that you want out of life, they say something about you. They say what you value. And your values are super important, and they're a way for you to stand out as you are presenting yourself to people for a job, right? Someone who wants to sail around in a boat when they're 40, who might not have been able to even think about a boat when they were growing up, that is somebody who believes that where you start in life is not where you have to end up, right? You can grow up watching boats, right? And then go on to own and sail around in a boat. So that's not just a random desire to have. It's something that says a lot about what you believe is possible for you in life and what you believe is possible for other people, your patients included. For people who don't necessarily want to feel like a fraud when they go to conferences, or they don't want to be caught taking care of patients or being assigned patients and not knowing what to do, being somebody who has expertise, that is something that you value pretty highly. And being somebody who has that as a value differentiates you from somebody who doesn't have that as a value. And you can dig all the way to find out what's the origin of you valuing these things, what's the origin of you believing these things. And that's really the doorway of you being able to start, or you being able to start to differentiate yourself in a pool with, tons of other people where you need differentiation. So, to summarize everything that I've said, it would be that when you think about matching, you might explain to someone that, oh, you want to match, just want to match. It's the next step, right? Or you want to match because you want to improve your knowledge and skills. But if you sit with yourself, if you sit with a family member, if you sit with your journal, there is a nice thing, there's a shiny thing that you want more of, because you're a human being and we all want more of these nice shiny things. We want more freedom, we want more intellectual development, we want more money, we want more happiness, we want more as human beings. And when you're able to dig into these things, it's going to make you relatable to other human beings because we all want them. And it is going to point to things that you can start to use to differentiate yourself in an application process, because this number one thing that you value, like remember I said for myself, that is freedom. And I have countless examples of where I've chosen and prioritized my freedom above so many things because I must have it. These nice things that you value say a lot about you, And when you're able to dig to the root of them and to position them in a way that doesn't sound horrible, but to position them in a way that allows people to connect with you, they can be very powerful for you on your match journey. All right. So I hope that this was helpful to you today. I hope it wasn't too triggering if you're, if you kind of, you're really craving some of these things, being out of the job that you're in, or, finally having people stop talking about you and your desire to go overseas to study medicine and all of these different things, right? I hope this was very helpful for you, and I really want you to sit with these nice things that you desire, to write them out, to decide which of these things is actually your number one nice thing that you want or need. And then from there, you can dig down to see what he says about you, because that will become really, really important information that you can use in your match application. Right, so take care, and if you watch this on the replay, thanks for watching. My name is Shauna K. Lester. I'm the founder of Memorable Essay, and I'm the creator of the IMG Residency Match Application Accelerator. And as it says, IMGs, we support international medical graduates, ambitious IMGs who want more for their professional and personal lives. And we support you in the match process to create an application that gives you the best possible odds of matching. And I will talk to you again soon.